We're back, joined now by Dr. David Cunic. He's CEO of UCS Advisors. David, always a pleasure having you in the program.
Thanks for having me, Don. It's always a pleasure to be on.
We've got the election coming up in a couple of weeks. We have 5 more U.S. states that have it on the ballot. I mean, if they all pass, and they're all expected to, that's going to put the tally at 42 states out of 50 where it's legal.
It is, and it's interesting too with Biden coming out right before the midterms about doing expungement and really helping to get people that were incarcerated from this plan out of jail. But as we tell everyone, yes, 5 more states on the ballot is great, but then it's the next steps after that. And to really see what the next steps need to occur, depending what happens with the results of the election. But overall, here at the cannabis industry, we're really excited. Some people even say cannabis is recession proof because no matter what's happening in our economy and in the United States, people want, for lack of a better term, their drugs and their alcohol.
Well, we're seeing a lot of acquisition activity. I'm involved with companies that are doing that right now. So the consolidation you and I spoke of weeks ago is really starting to take place.
We are. We're definitely seeing more consolidation. We're seeing some of the larger multiple state operators going out and acquiring other companies, smaller companies that kind of already, for lack of a better term, done the dirty work to get their company to a certain level. And the multiple state operators are coming in, they're doing acquisitions. We're also seeing technology companies start to get acquired as well too. So we're really excited to see here in the cannabis industry what's going to happen over the next 6 months.
Well, it's really interesting because over the last 20 years, we've seen a definitive shift in public attitude towards cannabis, government attitude towards cannabis, where it was highly illegal. Now it's being generally accepted across the board.
Exactly. We're seeing it generally accepted. And I joke around. Today I'm in New Jersey, and it's interesting to see how many people 10 years ago didn't want to do anything at all with this cannabis plant. And now they're seeing that there's money to be made with it and that it's here to stay. And we're seeing a lot of old money in New York start to come into the cannabis industry. We're seeing a lot of non-traditional investors get involved in the cannabis industry as well too. So yes, we're keeping an eye out with those 5 states, but the East Coast is coming up very quickly and very strong. You're going to be a real big player in the cannabis industry.
Well, I saw an article this morning in the city of Toronto. You can now have now have dispensary cannabis delivered via Uber Eats.
Yes, I saw that as well too. And it's really interesting because when we talk about delivery services, that's actually one of the type of deals we have a lot of our investors looking at is literally the delivery of the cannabis plant to the end user. And, there's a lot of money being made in that sector as well too.
The last time we spoke, you were getting ready to go to a couple of cannabis conferences. How did they turn out for you?
They turned out great. The big underlying message was, hey, one, cannabis really is recession proof and it's here to stay. The second thing we really saw is the states of Texas, Georgia, and North Carolina, the amount of pent up buying and the amount of demand from the public to have cannabis allowed in those states. Once one of those 3 states allows legalization, we're going to see a huge uptick in the market. And last but not least, the third thing we really saw is that there's a lot of money coming into the cannabis industry. We're seeing people who did really well in real estate over the last couple of years put their money into cannabis. We're seeing people who did well in crypto a couple of years ago putting their money into cannabis. And people are now saying, I need to have cannabis to be part of my portfolio because I really want to diversify. And that's the biggest message we really saw attending all these conferences. And Don, the exact number has been 11 conferences in the last 42 days.
Wow. I saw a TV ad not too long ago where they were selling a CBD infused pain relief cream, and the actors that were using the pain relief cream were senior citizens, which was really interesting.
It is interesting, and we're seeing more of the baby boomers really be more proactive in the cannabis industry. Recently, I was in the state of Massachusetts checking on a client, and I was the youngest person in the dispensary by at least 20 years.
Wow, incredible. What are you anticipating for the industry next year, 23?
Great question. I think we're going to see a huge influx of money come to the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut market. We're going to see more West Coast companies bring their services, their money, and their expertise to the New England area. And I think we're going to see the public markets have a big rebound next year with the consolidation that we're seeing in the mergers and acquisitions. I think we're going to see the public companies really see the fruits of their labor over the last 12 to 18 months come full circle here in 2023.
Well, David, you are the doctor of the cannabis industry as far as MoneyTV is concerned. Appreciate your insight. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Don. Always a pleasure.